Okay, you are well known to the heavy metal audience because your audition at Dream Theater.
Yeah.
By the way, you did a great job, man. You were one of my favorite guys to take the
Wow.
test. So,
Wow.
how were you called to take this test, and how was the experience?
I mean, again, that was
Yeah,
again.
this is your life.
This is my life. Exactly. This is definitely my life. Yeah, I played on the album with James, and later on that year in 2010, suddenly Portnoy chose, to quit Dream Theater, and since James, knew my drumming from his album earlier that year, I recorded it. So he said, like, I think we should, check with Peter too. I think he liked my drumming, and he played the album for the other guys in Dream Theater, and they said, "Wow, this I like this guy too." So so yeah, it just ended up like James calling me like, Portnoy is left the band, and would you be interested in doing an audition? I was like, yeah, of course, man. And to me, that was more like, I felt like if I get to go to New York to hang out for a week, and do the audition and just, have a jam session with Dream Theater. I mean, who wouldn't love to do that? So
It's
so
already great.
it's already great. And to be honest, I thought like, well, I saw the list with the other guys because they sent us an email, and all those other drummers also I saw their emails because
Oh
and
yeah,
I was like, okay, Fergie Donati, Mike Mangini, all these. I mean,
Thomas Lang. Okay.
Thomas Lang. I mean, those are like the creme de la creme. Those are the top drummers in the world. I mean, really, really. So I felt at that point, I felt like I'm the underdog. Not that many people know about me anyway. So I mean, I have nothing to lose on doing this. So for me, that was already a win. I mean, I just wanted to go there, and in the end, I did. I was the only one working full time. I worked full time as a teacher, mathematics and drums. I had to work all day and then go to the rehearsal space, and learn the songs. And I think we had like 3.5 weeks or something, like 4 weeks to learn it. So it was a demanding task, but I mean, it was just great to me. It was just great. I loved it. The guys in Dream Theater are super cool, and we had a super cool time, and it's just an experience for life. I loved it.
Oh yes, it is. Well, and do you believe that after that audition, your name became better known? And how was the feedback from the public to your participation?
Yeah, I mean, the feedback was great. A lot of people, I mean, all those drummers are phenomenal drummers. So it was more about, who would fit the band and, what the band liked. All those drummers are phenomenal. So it's not about that they don't know how to play drums. It's not about that. But to me, I got like super great, response, and I got a few offers actually also from some other bands, like if I wanted, like not like the super big ones, but bands that actually do quite well and stuff like that. But in the end, I've always wanted to play music that I love. That's my main thing. So, and I thought like, well, would be cool, maybe to, make a living out of playing music. But if I'm doing that and being away from my family and my son and that, my wife. So I said, if I want to do that, it really has to be something that I really love playing 100%. And that was Darkane. so, yeah. So, but I've had a ton of, things coming out of this, and clinics. I'm doing clinics and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a great experience.
Nice. And still about the audition, that audition was divided in three parts, right? A
Yep,
free jam, the
yep,
three songs, and a
yep,
session in which the band played riffs and musical parts, and you had
yep,
to fit on them.
yeah.
Was any of them more challenging or more difficult to you?
I mean, the last part. I mean, the last part. We started playing the songs, and then we did like the jam, and the songs I knew them by heart, so that wasn't weird. It was just, like you're super nervous, of course. And there were like 15 or 20 people in the room. So I mean, they had like, of course, the band members, and then there were the manager and all the tour crew was there, guitar techs, drum techs, keyboard techs, bass tech, everybody was there. And also some people from like Music Man was there. I mean, the endorsers were there. And there was just a bunch of people in there. I thought it was only us in the band. It was a huge room at Studio Instrument Rentals in New York. Like this SIR is a huge place where bands do production rehearsals, stuff like that. So no, but it was just a weird feeling. And then after playing the songs, we did like a jam, and that was cool. They didn't nothing weird. But then they said, well, we're going. So Jordan came up to me and said, I'm going to play you a part on the keyboard, and you just figure something out to go along with that on drums. I mean, I was like instantly, super nervous. When you get this feeling like you're getting all warm in your head, but cold inside your body, like you're super nervous. That feeling, and it felt like I had like a glass bulb, around my head. I couldn't really hear anything anymore. It was just, and he played some weird ass shit, like Dream Theater is, like. And he said, and I'm like, so what meter is that actually? Yeah, it's 9/8, and then it's like 7/8, and I'm like, wow, 5/4, and but he is, and I was so impressed because he was playing the stuff with his right hand at the same time he was conducting with his left hand in odd meters. So that guy he's brutal. He's brutal. I could tell, and
Jordan is
I
a
was,
beast.
I was so impressed also. But I was just looking at it like, shit, the guy is like conducting in weird meters and playing at the same time and talking to me. So I was like, I didn't really hear what he was playing because I was so amazed by his performance, But it ended up quite well, and I just thought, like, keep it basic. Like if some stuff, where that's a drummer, the 7/8 like and
Hmm.
Dream Theater is very often pattern based like that. So I just heard, like he said, like 5/7 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So I kind of figured that out and just jammed to it, and they were like, well, that was great, you nailed it, man. So I didn't want to make it too complicated. I just kept with the basic feel I got. But that I have to say, that was a horrible. That part wasn't that fun. I can tell.
And when you left the test, were you with that feeling that, man, I nailed it? I think I have a chance.
No, I mean, to be honest, I still had the same feeling afterwards. I mean, I just thought, I'm like super underdog here, and my drum heroes. I mean, Verdi Donati and Thomas Lang and all these guys. I mean, those are my drumming heroes that I look up to, and so and Mangini. I just felt, like I've been watching these guys like on DVDs and stuff like early on. Bought some instructional DVDs and stuff. So those are my heroes, and I just thought, so I mean, if I was in the band, I would pick some of those guys who are like super, super, super great. I mean, I know how to play drums, I know, but those guys are just on another level. But I guess in the end, they were happy with my drumming. And I think that was actually because I guess, I've been playing a lot in bands. So I kind of, I'm a band drummer. I'm not like a solo artist or stuff. Some of those guys are more, or not more, they play with bands, but they are like on a very different level. So I guess, they like the vibe. I think I'm probably a little bit closer to actually Portnoy, his kind of drumming, coming from like a band drumming situation more than like a fusion, drummer that knows everything. So I guess that's what they enjoyed in the end, like just being like a band drummer, I guess.
And in the end, were you surprised that got like third place. When they called you, were you surprised?
I was super surprised. I mean, I already told myself, as I said, like if I go to New York and do the audition, I'm already a winner. That's it. For me, I was already super happy with that. So I didn't, expect anything more than that. So when they called me, and said like we really loved it, and James also told me like afterwards, like, you were on the top three, and I was like, man, I mean, that's like weird. But I did. I mean, I put a lot of time and effort into the audition and learning the songs, I mean, I grew up with listening to Dream Theater. I mean, Images and Words. I saw them for the first time on Images and Words tour already. But yeah, I was a bit surprised, I have to say.